From the Large Hadron Collider to actual testimonials of alternate reality travelers, there seems to be a lot of signs that alternate realities do exist. I'm your host, Melissa Malati, and here are your top 10 signs of alternate realities that we can't ignore. In our number 10 spot, we have unknown objects. Over the years, archaeologists have discovered items while on expeditions that they truly can't explain. Objects that cannot be identified as an object of this world, or an object that is so old and doesn't fit with our idea as to what existed during that time. A good example of this is a hammer that was found in London in the 1930s. And this hammer is said to be over 500 million years old when humans weren't known to exist. There is also the Antikythera object that is a stone-like computer that was found near a Greek island. A stone computer. What? These items are from civilizations and times where there is no other data and proof that they existed, and so some have of course concluded that perhaps they are objects left by time travelers or dimension travelers. Or perhaps alien species. I think dimension travelers. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. In our number 9 spot, we have the case of Lerina Garcia. This is a story that was covered in the news around the world because of how different it was, and how it may possibly prove the existence of alternate realities. Allegedly, a young woman by the name of Lerina Garcia woke up one morning to find that nothing was familiar to her. Her home, her friends, job, everything was completely different, as if she was brand new to this planet. Many think that the reason everything was so far off is because she slipped into another dimension. No explanation made more sense, as she was still her and looked like her, and yet everything, her whole world, was completely different. People have speculated that she suffered from memory loss. However, all signs pointed to her being in perfect health, not to mention nothing traumatic had occurred that would make anyone believe that theory. This sounds actually so similar to a popular book called 1,000 Pieces of You. I bet the author based the story off of this story. If you like the idea of alternative realities, then I would very much recommend that book. In our number 8 spot, we have Deja Vu. This is a phenomena that is widely talked about, as it is seemingly a phenomena that almost everyone experiences. The phenomena that is Deja Vu is essentially a weird sensation that you have experienced a situation once before. You have a feeling kinda like, yeah, this happened before, or this feels familiar. People try to explain it off as if it is something familiar that you are thinking is similar, or it is some kind of troubleshooting in the brain. There are also other versions of deja vu, such as deja vu, a feeling that you know what's going to happen next, or alter vu, which is the act of remembering your history differently. Similar to the case of Lerina Garcia, where the person realizes that the world around them is unfamiliar and they can recognize their history and recognize the history forming in front of their eyes as well. Pretty trippy. What if psychic predictions are just knowings that we have from other realities, and maybe when they don't happen and we feel sure that they were supposed to happen, then maybe that fate wasn't meant for this reality, but it is meant for another reality. Ooh, interesting. In our number 7 spot, we have the Berenstein bears phenomena. If you haven't heard of this sign of an alternative reality, then perhaps you did not grow up in the 90s, when literally everyone I speak to that grew up in this time seems to remember this book being called the Berenstein Bears, not the Berenstein Bears as it is seemingly published as today. This has been a popular thread on internet chat rooms for many years now, and so widely talked about. Most people believe it to be a sign that we possibly jumped into another reality in the millennium, or perhaps in 2012, or just in another time, because there are just too many people that are confused about the name change. If we didn't jump into another reality, then I'm convinced some aliens have changed it somehow to mess with all of us. One of the two theories feels about right. In our number 6 spot, spot, we have the many worlds theory. There is a physicist by the name of Hugh Everett who, back in 1957, came up with a theory of multiple realities in quantum mechanics, and he suggested that all possible alternate histories and futures are real, but are within their own worlds. This theory basically states that any possible occurrence that could have happened in reality would be a world of its own. Whoa. It's a theory that is one of the more popular ones in the physics and philosophy world, being added to and expanded upon by other physicists such as Bryce Sillingman DeWitt. In our number 5 spot, we have dreams. Out of all the explained phenomena in the world, we've even placed a person on the moon, for Christ's sakes, we have not been able to solve the mystery of our dreams. Researchers are nowhere close to understanding exactly how the mind works, and dreams are an element that are still quite a mystery. Nobody quite knows if dreams are a result of the brain as it rests. The brain perhaps sorts through thoughts, memories, and anxieties, or do we perhaps jump into other worlds and realities in our dreams? Some think both. There's also the phenomenon of astro travel that many have proven to have done in dreams, and were able to give accurate information when they've woken up about what happened while they were dreaming. So yet another phenomenon about dreams we can't explain. But my money is on jumping into alternative realities. I've had too many weird dreams in my life that make me think, yeah, that's probably true. In our number 4 spot, we have Taured. Okay, this story is kind of wild. Apparently, in the year 1954, there was a man coming into Tokyo Airport in Japan with a passport from a country that didn't exist. The customs officials grilled the man on why he had a fake passport and fake custom papers, and he insisted that his passport and papers were real. He apparently had all kinds of bank statements and documents from a country in Europe called Taured. Apparently this country has thousands of years of history as well. The man was held in a hotel room for several hours while the government analyzed his papers, only to go into the hotel room and find him to be vanished. Yeah, that's enough proof for me. Clearly he was a person from another reality where Taured is a country. Cool. What a wild story. I'm surprised that a movie hasn't been made about this yet. In our number 3 spot, we have ghosts. There are some scientific theories out there that possibly tie ghosts to people from alternative realities. I know we usually think of ghosts and think that they're our deceased loved ones who have moved on to wherever, another place. But some scientists have theorized that perhaps ghosts are actually some kind of bleed through from alternative realities, a sort of misfiring of electrons that have landed on a possible wrong plane of existence. Or perhaps it really is just our deceased loved ones in an alternative reality, and that's where we move on to when we pass away. Who knows, but interesting to think about. In our number 2 spot, we have superposition. Okay, so scientific research has led us to have a good understanding of how the universe works, as we have been able to observe the behavior of electrons and protons, which make up atoms, and in case you don't know, but atoms make up humans and every object on this planet. Something that we have learned through observing protons and electrons is that they can be in multiple places or in multiple states of existence all simultaneously. This has been called superposition. This means that people and things could also possibly exist in multiple states of reality, too, thus proving to me that alternative realities exist. I wonder if there's a reality that I'm a princess. That just feels right. In our number 1 spot today, we have the Large Hadron Collider. There is a Large Hadron Collider that has been subjected to many urban legends over the years. This Hadron Collider is the world's largest and highest particle collider that lies 27 kilometers deep below the surface between the France and Switzerland border. It was originally created by CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, between 1998 and 2008, as a collab between 10,000 scientists and hundreds of labs and universities from over 100 different countries. Anyways, some say that the purpose of this was to possibly create a black hole in reality, but of course this is just hearsay and a theory. Regardless of what they are actually doing down there, they did stumble across some crazy evidence that may further prove the existence of alternate realities. By throwing a bunch of particles around at crazy speeds, these scientists were able to measure how long particles disappeared for, and it has been assumed that they traveled to new dimensions or planes of existence. Apparently, one of the scientists at CERN by the name of Aurelian Barraud has been quoted as saying, "The multiverse is no longer a model. It is a consequence of our models." Fascinating is all I've got to say. I'm obsessed with Interstellar, and apparently that movie did a very good representation as to describing what is believed to be the fifth dimension and what could be assumed as an alternate reality. God, my little third dimension brain is feeling mind blown thinking about all this. I think I'm gonna go take a nap now. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Melissa Melotti, your host, and I hope you have a good day. Wrong side. Good day. You know what? Earlier I think I said hadron. I'm gonna go with that. We're gonna stick to it. I probably didn't. Watch, they're gonna be like, excuse me miss, you pronounce this in 2 different ways. Okay.